Today I'm showing you how you can learn to make sourdough focaccia. Let's get right into the recipe. The very first thing that you want to do is feed your sourdough starter 12 hours before you want to bake this focaccia or before you want to begin making this focaccia. There is an entire video on my YouTube channel on how to make your own sourdough starter. So once you have followed that step by step, you will have fed the starter 12 hours before. So if you're making your bread at 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning, then don't forget to feed the starter at about 8 or 9 p.m. the day before. That gives it a good 12 hours for it to double in size and for the starter to activate. Now let's get started with the focaccia. This is the morning of the day I'm making the bread. So here I have some whole wheat flour and some all-purpose flour, and I'm just going to use my fingers and just combine these flours together. Just mix it well so it's all well combined. We're not going to add anything else here, just flour, water, that's it. So this process is called autolyse, where we mix this warm water as in just lukewarm. So when you dip your finger in the water, it should feel very comfortable. You shouldn't flinch or feel extremely uncomfortable when you dip your finger. So that's the temperature, and you're just going to add that water to the flour mix and then just mix it all together until it comes together into a nice smooth dough. And that is basically called autolyse, where you mix the flour and water and you let this dough rest for about 1 hour in a nice warm dark place covered with a damp cloth. You will also notice that the dough is really sticky at this point, and that is to be expected. So just cover it with a damp cloth and let it rest for 1 hour in a nice dark and warm place. Now after an hour we are here again, and an hour later we are going to be using this active sourdough starter. Look at how much it has risen from the day or from the night before. So 12 hours earlier we had fed the starter, and now we are going to add 80 grams of this starter into our dough mix. Now all the quantities for making this sourdough focaccia are down in the description box below. So I'm going to add the starter, and I'm just going to start massaging the starter into the dough so that it is mixed well with the rest of the dough. This starter is nothing but wild yeast, so you're basically creating your own yeast at home. And I'm just going to start massaging the sourdough starter into the dough really well, because you want it to kind of mix with every area of that dough, because that works as our yeast. And so I'm just going to push the starter into the dough and just kind of fold the dough over onto itself so that everything is well combined. Again, you will notice the dough is super sticky at this point, but give it some time and it is going to get better. So we just keep doing that, and then again I'm going to cover this with a damp cloth and let that rest at room temperature in a dark warm place for another hour. So we keep it back into that spot where you were proofing this dough earlier for an hour. An hour later, now we are going to start seasoning this dough with some salt and oil. So first I'm adding some coconut oil, which is cold pressed coconut oil essentially. You could add any oil that is local to your area or where you live. Now I've added some sea salt, and I'm just going to start mixing this dough, or rather just pushing my fingers into the dough so that everything gets well combined. You can already see that the dough is becoming quite stringy and stretchy at this point, so the gluten is getting activated, that is for sure. And you can see that little pocket of air bubble, and that just is an indicator that a sourdough focaccia is going to be incredibly light and delicious. So just kind of start with the first stretch and fold, which is a very gentle one. It's not going to push a lot essentially, because we still haven't given it much time to rest. So stretch as much as you can and stop when you experience some kind of resistance. That is when you feel that the dough might tear. You do not want the dough to tear apart. So just push, or pull rather, just pull or stretch just enough till you feel like, okay, that's this. If I stretch any further, it's going to tear. So do that for all the 4 sides, and then you're just going to again let this dough rest. Now all your stretch and folds will happen at 30-minute intervals. You won't be resting it for an hour. So every 30 minutes what you will do is rest the dough for 30 minutes and then perform a stretch and fold on all the 4 sides. So you will do this for a total of 2 hours, and that will be spread apart in 30-minute intervals. Now I'm going to cover it with a damp cloth and let it rest. Now this is going to rest for 30 minutes. Now after 30 minutes, this is my second session of stretch and fold. I have a little bit of water in a glass container, which helps me ensure that the dough doesn't stick to my fingers. So you can see now the quality of that stretch has improved dramatically. So I'm able to stretch and fold, or stretch the dough rather, to a much greater extent than what I was able to do earlier. So just again stretch as much as you can and as far as you can go without tearing the dough. And once you've done that, again then you're going to repeat this after 30 minutes. Now I'll cover it again with a damp cloth and let it rest at room temperature for 30 minutes. So this now is my final stretch and fold that I'll be doing at the end of the second hour. And look how much the dough has risen. It has gotten really nice and soft and very, very airy and light. And you can see those air pockets coming up. So I'm just going to stretch and fold again, and you'll notice that you're able to stretch this dough a lot more, and you can already see that there has been a dramatic gluten formation, which just goes to show that our bread is going to be fabulous when it bakes. So this is the last stretch and fold that we are doing before we kind of place this dough in the refrigerator for proving or for bulk fermenting overnight. So what I'll do now is I'm going to take a glass bowl and grease it with some cold pressed coconut oil, just lightly cover the surface, and then I'm just going to dump this dough that we have bulk fermented since the past 2 hours, and I'm going to cover it with a damp cloth and place it in a Ziploc bag and pop this into the refrigerator for 12 to 15 hours, which is practically overnight. So this whole process takes an entire day, and you'll be baking your focaccia the next day. Yes, I understand it's difficult to exercise that kind of patience when you're making bread, but that's what sourdough baking is all about. The more patience you show, the better your results will be. Now this is the next morning, and I have my baking tray ready over here, and I'm going to generously add some coconut oil to this. Now the trick with focaccia is that you have to be extremely generous with the oil. No shying away, and we're using good quality, healthy, non-refined cold pressed oil. So just generously spread that, and then I've dumped my dough, which was proofing in the fridge overnight, and I have also taken some oil in the palms of my hands, and I'm just going to sort of start spreading this dough. So this dough has come out straight from the fridge, but we're going to spread it on the baking tray and let it proof for another 30 minutes to 1 hour. And while that is happening, I'm obviously going to cover it with a damp cloth and let it rest or prove in a dark, warm place for an hour. In the meantime, I'm going to preheat the oven to 230 degrees Celsius. And while the oven is preheating, it needs about 30 minutes to preheat. Now I'm going to collect all my veggies in a bowl. So here I have some onions, tomatoes and capsicum. I'm going to add some flavor and heat by adding some garlic and some chili, chopped chili. You can just use whatever veggie mix you want, but I like this, and I'm going to add a generous tablespoon, a couple of tablespoons of coconut oil, which is cold pressed coconut oil, and mix everything together really well. And I'm just going to let that sit, and it's going to be so intensely flavorful. Now it's been an hour since my dough was resting, so now it's time to start making our focaccia. So I'm adding some more oil here, and I'm spreading it gently with my fingers and creating a lot of dents onto my focaccia dough. And that's very important because these dents will contain the oil and the veggies that you will be making, and as they bake in the oven, these dents will contain the veggies, and the other areas of the bread will puff up, and it's going to look so delicious and taste so delicious as well. So here I have my veggies, which I am going to push into the dents that we made, and I'm just going to really fast forward this because it's just me pushing some vegetables into the dough, which is really very, very simple. Now we have some leftover oil from the veggie mix that we had created earlier, and the water from the tomatoes also kind of mixed with this oil. Now the garlic and chili which was left over is also in this container. I'm going to add another tablespoon of oil, and now it's time for me to emulsify this mix. But before that, I'll also season it with some salt. Use my fork now, and I'm just going to whisk this. Whisking this is essentially going to emulsify the oil and the water from the tomatoes and the other veggies, and look how gorgeous that looks. And this oil and water emulsification is what we are going to pour over our focaccia just before we pop this in the oven, and it will bake in the oven for about 20 to 22 minutes, or until the top gets really nice and brown, golden brown. You'll know when it's done because it should look like this. And immediately after getting it out of the oven, we're going to add another tablespoon of oil. All the ingredients are down in the description box below, so feed your focaccia with a lot of oil as soon as it comes out of the oven so it stays nice and moist. Now it's time for us to cut into this focaccia. Let it cool down for 10 to 15 minutes before taking it out on a cutting board, and look how gorgeous that looks. This focaccia is so delicious. I really hope you give this a go. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. If you like this video, then please give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. And when you make this sourdough focaccia at home, then don't forget to post a photo to Instagram and tag me at Mind Body Glow with Samina. I'll see you again next time. Until then, goodbye and happy baking.